According to general historical wisdom, large numbers of veteran and well-equipped Siberian divisions were deployed protecting the eastern borders of the Soviet Union against a possible attack by Japan in June 1941. They were then apparently transferred west from October to November 1941 in time to have a decisive influence on the battle for Moscow. According to the same historical wisdom, these divisions were released from October to November 1941. After Stalin had learned from his spy network in Japan, run by Richard Sorge, that the Japanese had no intention of attacking. Apparently by November 1941 these same Siberian divisions were being encountered all along the front protecting Moscow. The following quote typifies the current common perception: "The Siberians are coming." It was a cry that spread terror through the ranks of the German army in the winter of 1941. The ever-distrustful Joseph Stalin had primarily put his faith in the word of one man, Richard Sorge, and had ordered division after division of his armies in the Far East to be transported as quickly as possible to the west to blunt the German advance. Did this really happen like this? An objective and detailed look at the history of the Siberian divisions involved gives a much more accurate and truthful historical picture. For the purposes of this discussion, territory in the western USSR is defined as west of a line running north/south, 100 kilometers west of the Urals. Therefore, the following military districts and non-active fronts are included as being east of this line. From the June 23 to December 31, 1941, a total of 28 divisions were transferred west. This included 18 rifle divisions, 1 mountain rifle division, 3 tank divisions, 3 mechanized divisions and 3 mountain cavalry divisions. The transfers occurred mainly in June with 11 divisions and in October with 9 divisions. Of the 11 divisions transferred in June, 9 were rifle divisions already assigned to the reserves. These units were already in transit or already under orders to move on June 22, 1941. The decision to move the 24th Army from Siberia with its 6 rifle divisions had already been made before Barbarossa started, and by this time the 24th Army was already in Soviet reserve. The rifle divisions had all arrived west of Moscow by July 7, 1941, and these were all committed before the end of the month. All these divisions were formed in the Siberia Military District and so by rights could be called Siberian divisions. The 91st and 166th were completely destroyed in the Vyazma pocket in October 1941, whilst the remaining divisions were mere skeletons of their former selves by October 1941. Of the rifle divisions, 3 arrived in August and September and were sent to 11th Army defending the southern approaches to Leningrad or 7th Army defending the far north against the Finns. Only 6 rifle divisions arrived in October and only 4 of these went to any army that could be even remotely linked to defending Moscow against Army Group Center. These were the 32nd, 93rd, 78th and 238th Rifle Divisions. Of these only the 32nd and 93rd Rifle Divisions had a significant proportion of Siberian personnel, while the 238th had only started forming in March 1941 in Central Asia. In short, of all the divisions transferred west after August 1941, only 3 rifle divisions originated with Siberian personnel and only 2 went into the Western Front defending Moscow. Where are the newly arrived Siberian divisions being encountered all along the front protecting Moscow? To fulfill this statement there would need to have been 10 to 20 Siberian divisions in Western Front. The only division which actually earned the reputation bestowed upon the Siberian divisions in 1941 was the 32nd Rifle Division, which defended near Borodino in October 1941. Ironically, this division was formed in 1922 in the then Volga Military District and only a portion of its personnel came from western Siberian oblasts. Another thing apparent from the table above is how early these divisions transferred. Most sources claim the information from Sorge's spy ring came in October 1941 at the earliest and November 1941 at the latest from Tokyo. Yet it is apparent that the decision to move the vast majority of available divisions west was made well before this time and no new rifle divisions were actually shipped after October. Whichever way data is analyzed, The whole Siberian transfer story is a myth in all respects, including timing, numbers, source of personnel and overall combat performance. The real question is, who stopped the Germans in December 1941 if it couldn't possibly have been hordes of newly arrived Siberian or East Front troops? The answer is a massive number of newly mobilized and deployed divisions and brigades. The Soviet land model shows that 182 rifle divisions, 43 militia rifle divisions, 8 tank divisions, 3 mechanized divisions, 62 tank brigades, 50 cavalry divisions, 55 rifle brigades, 21 naval rifle brigades, 11 naval infantry brigades, 41 armies, 11 fronts and a multitude of other units were newly mobilized and deployed in the second half of 1941. If mobilized and not deployed units are included, then this list is considerably higher. Even if the few Siberian divisions exhibited a higher than average combat proficiency in the winter of 1941 and 1942, their contribution was almost insignificant compared to the mass of newly mobilized units. There is no doubt that the 1941 Soviet mobilization program was simply the largest and fastest wartime mobilization in history. The multitude of average Soviet soldiers from all over the Soviet Union that made up these units saved the day, and definitely not the existing units transferred west after June 1941, or the mostly non-existent and mythical Siberian divisions. It seems very likely the term Siberian was applied to any division that exhibited an above-average proficiency or resilience in combat. This was similar to, but less official than, a Guards designation which the Soviet High Command started awarding to such divisions in 1941. Ultimately, it cost nothing to name a division Siberian, Guards, or Elite, and if it enhanced morale, scared the enemy and enabled better divisions to be easily identified, then it was certainly worthwhile. It is easy to forget that all combatants in World War II were waging a morale and propaganda war alongside the real one. Unfortunately, post-World War II history calls on the same propaganda-based stories as the basis of historical fact. This then results in certain war stories, legends and myths become cemented over the years as unquestioned historical events. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and to make sure you don't miss my future work, please make sure you are subscribed to my channel and press the bell notification button. Thank you and see you in the next video.